Greetings and welcome. This is Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well today. I am guided by Spirit, and I'm recording this episode on June 29, just past 10 a.m. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events and missing people. Disclaimer: all cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. And in this episode, I'm looking at Anne Princess Royal, which is a follow-up episode. Now that we know she returned home yesterday, and I'll also be looking at some elements around Catherine, who is still missing. And so much has happened this week. Japanese have been in town. Taylor Swift was in town. Big events happening. Mom Anne is in trouble. No messaging from Catherine. Or not any messaging that I've seen. Catherine to Anne: I hope you're okay. So I got some metadata from a post made by Sky News that thankfully Princess Anne was discharged from hospital after treatment for concussion. And so news broke the 28th, so we can have a look here at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everything into a master slide over here. So when we did the first episode, we only went up to June 27 in the previous episode. Now we're just going to follow on because she's obviously been released from, I almost want to say prison, but from hospital. So let's see what the numbers say and if we can get some ping pongs. Also, I've included the December 25 to December 31 sequence, which is the missing week. I want to just go deeper from EP1 in terms of matches. So far we can see that the fathers are at play: 44, 22-4, also reflecting on and Princess Royal's sequence of numbers. And while meditating on these slides, I made a startling discovery. So let's go to June 28 here. All right, so let's leave it like that. So let's look at June 28 is when Anne is released from hospital, or the news comes out, right? So what startled me is this sequence of numbers here, because we note the day that she's released. So 28 December, we see the 28-10-1. Now this is the day ambulances leave Catherine's home. The day she comes out here, and 28-10-1. So there's big communication going on around this event. This is a high-profile person, let's say, as we know the narrative currently, that is returning home. So you would expect some kind of buzz of communication. We have it here as well. Now we see the 34-7 and 16-7. So for me, the 34-7 is the problem number to start off with, because it speaks about, these are numbers you would see at a crime scene that involve family members. 34-7. And we also have the 16-7. Now this 16-7 has been bugging me, and I briefly mentioned that it pings on Charles up here, 16-7. And we'll note it's in the exact same position, 16-7, 16-7. So are we saying, did Charles give his blessing for Anne to come home? We know how the ping pong works. But hidden is this murderous number. Now the reflection day, December 31, 2023, is the reflection day of the December 28, when an ambulance leaves Catherine's household, witnessed by journalists. And by the way, I've been looking for pictures of Anne, Princess Royal, arriving at hospital or departing hospital. Nothing. Maybe I missed it. But I certainly saw her husband arriving and leaving with a decoy in his hand, the red herring, the blue bag. Focus on the blue bag, not that he's doing a fake visit. So this 16-7 that pings on Charles here, look at the sequence when the vehicle leaves, or the ambulance leaves Kate, the reflection day. So we've on the reflection day, this 31-4, this is someone that's deceased here, by the way. 31-4 is a corpse number. We see a reversal of the 43-7, that's also murderous, reducing the family size. Innocent death, death of innocence, death of innocence, followed by a 16-7, sacrificial as well, 16-7, coincidence or not, ping pong on Mr. Charles there, 16-7, in the exact same position. That is like finding a fingerprint on the murder weapon. For those that are jumping in at the end of a sequence, so I've been covering the Catherine story. I believe there's 11 episodes there, or 10, beg your pardon. And then this is the second of Anne. But I just want to bring up this picture here, because I saw in the news this morning there's a new painting that's been released of Charles from the army guys, right? And it looks like a proper general with all these badges. But just let's remind ourselves his own personal portrait that he had made for himself. The Blood Kings. The Blood Kings, like father, like son. So not only do we have the same presence of the 44s here, the fathers, the leaders, the heads of the family with their grand master plan is also present with Anne. These decisions don't get made in isolation. Because I'm still saying, on the day that Anne had supposedly bumped her head, which is this day here, June 23rd, June 23rd, I'm still not seeing, oops, I bumped my head numbers. I'm seeing bumped head numbers in early morning the next day. And then a curious comment came from one of our viewers to say there's even speculation that she may even be dead. However, if we had to look from that perspective, These are treacherous numbers on June 22. Because words are said here again, 28, 10, 1. And I have a funny feeling, and I may have mentioned this in Anne's first video, 22, 4, which also pings on Charles, but I believe involves Anne. There were words said, and sorry, I took the picture off of that buffoon at the Swift concert. I believe there were words said about, as a result of the exposure at the concert, in a time when Catherine is so terminally ill or ill with cancer, what is worse, had thrown a party in your garden while your wife is upstairs dying of cancer or has cancer, or going to public and dancing like an idiot. So if we had to go on that theory, 36, 9, 18, 9 are treacherous numbers here. We have the 22, 4 that pings on Uncle Charles here. There's big communications that are going on, 28, 10, 1. And I believe this may have been upsetting to Anne in some way, shape, or form, that here's this guy portraying how he needs to unwind while his wife and young child, where's that one? I'll just bring it in here. By the way, I'm going to have a look at Camilla. There's a reason why I put that over her eyes. She's got very creepy eyes, I must say. So William goes partying while Catherine and the small one are at home. So there is evidence of treachery, if that is the theory. Let's just see, if that is the case, let's test it. Let's have a test, no harm. So what I want to do is, so if that theory is correct, well, coincidence that it happens on a power number 22-4, but let's look this, then June 25, oh, beg your pardon, June 25 would be the reflection. So the day starts with, so, look here, ladies and gentlemen, August 22, 22-4, right? The 25th, which is technically then the summary of this day, who do we see here? 25-7. Let's make it red. 25-7, who's got a 25-7? 25-7 hidden. This guy's got beef. Right, so pings on Charles again. 13-4, a death. 31-4 is a corpse. 39-12-3 is taking control of the situation. Very ugly number here. 39-3, very ugly number for women, against women, beg your pardon. Men against women number, very bad. 39-12-3. Murderous, sorry, let me zoom in. 39-12-3, murderous. Multiple people involved, and even multiple murders. This is a treacherous number. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with close contact crimes, when you're dealing with male and female, with male issues, the 3 always pops up, and that is about men being abusive, over-controlling, a horrible number to have. And it's always men that bring it around. So we have a treacherous 39-12-3 year, in line with treachery, murder. 21-3, taken by force, against her will. 3 is woman, 3 is feminine energy. All about control, but also the 12-3, who does that ping on? It pings on Catherine. It's ultimately about Catherine. Let me quickly get Catherine's date of birth here. Alright, so I just brought in Catherine's details here as well. So we're saying, if we go in with the murder theory of Anne, that when we get here, the only one that has a 12-3 is Catherine. So it falls on Catherine. The 21-3 will faintly brush on or bring William in. But of course, William's numbers are all over the place here as well. But the 12-3 is about, what is this all about? I believe it's about control, and it's about Catherine Middleton, who remains missing and went missing. Let's just put it here. Who went missing during this week. And has never been seen since. Now, what's very alarming, I actually had a bit of a heart stop moment. Now, sorry, before we get onto that line. So the theory that Anne may have been murdered, let's just see here, so if we look the next day, 23-5, oh my gosh, she has a 23-5. We of course have the 29-11, 2 pings directly on Anne, pinging as we go. Pings directly on Anne, and these, I may have mentioned this, these motherfuckers. This is not bumping heads numbers here, or a horse head-butted me, or some miraculous horse kick hit her in the head. The theory about this could be very well true, ladies and gentlemen. And it is reflected here as well. What is going on? House of Cards falling down, mama. So supposedly Anne returns home June 28. So let's look at something here, because something's very... Look here, 34-7, 16-7, right? Same number as the incident around Kate Middleton. Ping-ponging, ping-ponging. This ping-pong, what do we call it? Bingo card. Some interesting information on this one. So, there's no coincidence, ladies and gentlemen, when you start seeing reflections of the same people involved with the same situations, men perpetrating crimes against women. And it would seem at willy-nilly, this is what came up, willy-nilly, the men's asserting themselves with their new titles. Has anyone seen Anne? I looked for photographs in it. I just saw the husband and statements from the husband. But this was also quite interesting in the tweet from Sky News. Now that's in the UK, obviously. So the tweet goes, breaking news. Princess Anne has returned home after several days in hospital. Or you can call it a week. Concussion. I got concussion from playing rugby. And in fact, I was kicked so hard in my head. The guy was aiming to kick the ball, right, but instead kicked my head. I mean, it's not as strong as a horse kick. But I was only in hospital for about 2 hours. And let me tell you, that was a serious kick. But I was in hospital for 2 hours. Not very nice 2 hours, however. But I was home the next day. Of course, I was a lot younger in my school days. Not 74 or in the 70s where they're saying it takes a bit longer to heal. That was the narrative straight away. It's going to take a bit longer to heal because of her age. Okay. So she got in concussion for 5 days. Let me just move this line here. The day she returns home, there's a reflection of a destruction of family as well. 42.6. 42.6 is the breaking down of family. 42.6. You'll see, like it's the reverse of 24.6. So 24.6 is the building of a family, 24.6. So the numbers are going up in sequence, in order. But when you have the reversal, it's like the card facing down. 42.6, there's elements of the family breaking down, breaking apart. And who does this reflect on here? 15.6, all on Anne. Triple 15.6 Anne. I don't believe this person with triple 15.6s would keep quiet for a minute. And with her 14.5, she ain't going to take shit from no one. So this 42.6 for me is a little bit alarming. It's like it's already happened, right? The 29.11.2 the next day reflects obviously on Anne as well. It reflects on all of them, William and Charles. 35.8 for me is another alarming number, and this would support the murder theory, beg your pardon. This would suspect the murder theory in that 35.8 is similar to 31.4. Let me just bring this here. 35.8 is about the death of biology, the death of a body. Pinging, ponging hard today. So 35.8 is the death of the body. 8 is the anatomy, body, physiologic, the flesh we are, right? Whereas it here? 31.4 is the body dying. Does that make sense? So it's from the moment the human conscious or body knows it's going to die to the moment it actually passes, but then rigor mortis, post-mortem elements as well. That's the zone of 31.4, right? Now, when you get to 35.8, ping ponging, 35.8 is now the body is done. It's a corpse, pretty much. It's just the flesh body now, right? Now, June 29, which is actually today, we see this anomalous of 8s. Alarming for me, now we'll note I've just been shown again, 43.7. We have that, so yeah, we have the 34.7. The 43.7, again, is reflected in her sequence. These are no coincidences here, I'm afraid. 43.7 is the murderous number that takes place within family, which is here as well, 43.7, murder in the family. And I'm not joking. I'll show you for a moment what her eyes look like, but it gives me the creeps. I'm not lying. Let's do it now. Stand by. I'm going to take this off here, but I'll put it back. Don't worry. So check here. I don't know. Is it just me? I'll keep it on as long as possible, but those eyes give me the creeps. I haven't doctored the picture, I haven't colored it, I haven't brightened it, I took it exactly how it is. Anyway, that's just me. Ugh. Ugh. Creep. So the 43.7 is reflected again. We see that in the Catherine week. The 25.7, no surprises there, pings on Mr. Charles. Beg your pardon. 25.7 pings on Charles here. Out in the open, by the way. Not hidden anymore. Out in the open. 16.7 in these situations is a divorce of some kind. Parting of the ways also reflects on Mr. Charles, 16.7. All about King Charles, ladies and gentlemen. Asserting his authority is what Spirit is telling me. Asserting his authority. It must have, you know what, it always crossed my mind, you know, I'm a pro Diana fan. I said it, I died when she died as far as the royal family goes. But I tell you something, it always crossed my mind about Charles waiting so long to be king. No disrespect, of course we didn't want to hurry Queen Elizabeth, but what I'm saying is, what must have been going through his mind and brain all those years waiting for his moment. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Waiting for his moment. And his moments. I'm not even going to... We'll maybe leave her for later. She's still giving me the creeps. Now that Charles is king, and a lovely viewer also mentioned the group that comes together meeting around these disasters that was brought in, you know, when Prince Charles and Diana were going through a divorce. I believe Andrew was going through a divorce. And there has been comment in newspapers saying that this is the moment again. Treachery, ladies and gentlemen, treachery. All right, well, so I guess we have two princesses. We await to see their next public appearance. No coincidence that this is happening either, because their numbers, sequences are matching with their own events. And that only says one thing, that it's the same people involved. It's the same people doing the same shit over and over and over and fooling the public. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's leave it here for now. We will keep an eye. I was going to do the Ant Show as part of the weekly Saturday roundup of where in the world is Kate Middleton. But Anne deserving of who she is. Of course, we're not perfect. But when princesses start departing, or curious things start happening around all the women in the royal family, the Royal Hoax Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please leave your thoughts and comments. I love engaging with them, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay alert, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.